Hey, how's it going? So, now I'm going to read some cards. I pulled two from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. And first one I pulled was Overflow. And the subtitle is Overwhelm and Plenty. Second card I pulled was, Drifter, and the subtitle on it is Experiencing Life as It Comes. I did pull a third card, and it was from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, and it is Lizard. So I pulled the pages from these just in case, but I feel like what I want to talk about, I can just look at the cards and do that. So I do have, for some reason, an order. So the first one, excuse me, pardon me, people, this bra is just not my friend right now. Okay, I'm gonna be in a hurry to get that off me, so let's move it along. Okay, so first the number. Why is it glaring so bad? 43. Trust me, 43. And that will add up to a 7. 7 is a number associated with spirit. So you can see that the subtitle, it says Overwhelm and Overflow, or Overwhelm and Plenty. And so you could look at this on first glance and say, okay, well, I had the abundance, and I guess I had the overabundance and lost control of it somehow, and also the water in the house. But I would look at it even differently as more of a metaphor, because I feel like, and it has like a personal tone as well, but I feel like it's not just me, that things have been like rocky for some people, super exciting. Depends on if you like it or not, I guess, on the person, or how well you can deal with stress and pressure, basically, and uncertainty. And I just made a different video, and I was talking about how I felt very, because of stuff going on in my life, and probably also just being affected by peripheral stuff like a war somewhere else, making people so crazy that they're just attacking each other here. And it's like, wait a minute, those are our allies. We're not actually in that war. Why are you trying to make one here, you crazy person? I don't know. I mean, it's not having that effect on me, but I know there's a lot of seemingly meaningless death. I mean, I don't even want to get into it. I just know that there's too much death. I can just feel like the dread of the people that are still there, the shock of people that just are there all of a sudden and just like blasted out of existence. All of that is like just reverberating out in the world, and it kind of depends on your sensitivity, the degree of how that's gonna actually touch you. But I think it does touch us. A lot of us like to put a hard exterior out there, and I don't know many of those that don't have something soft and mushy behind it underneath. So I guess we just do what we all feel like we can do to function, And so the thing about it is, it's so hard for me if I get angry and I'm like, what usually will make me mad is if I have something that I'm supposed to be doing, that I have to do right, that someone is expecting me to do right, and I have to do it in a certain amount of time, like a job. Exactly like a job. So that itself is stressful, and there's some of that, and then there's other things that just feel like that too. And like what I was saying earlier about all the death happening and all the grief. I'm sitting here trying to think of some compelling companion to all of that, like sadness. And I'm not immediately coming up with anything because, well, for one thing, it's not plastering every, news outlet and stuff I'd like to look at. I wish it would. Like, I have to go searching for the nice and happy stuff, but it is there. And so, that being the case, when I was like all upset and anxious and sort of like just blind to what was going on around me to a great degree, like I couldn't meditate well, like there was like something between me and everything else, or me and everything feeling normal. And there was a lot of astronomical stuff, like there were so many full moons and eclipses that have happened in the past month or so. It's kind of insane, and it kind of drives us insane. So I mean, I feel like the ones that are seriously affected negatively with this kind of thing, where they act out and are possibly violent or in some other way just, I don't know, freaked out and sparked to do something terrible because they are feeling some kind of way that they just don't know what else to do. They're not in control of it, or themselves, or something. I mean, I don't know. Something. And then if I was saying it finally like all stopped, and I can feel like, oh my gosh, I can start kind of feeling like myself again, which is a relief. I mean, it feels really good. I had a ride today, and it always pulls on my shoulder. It's always gonna happen. That's why I'm rubbing my shoulder now. So but even if you can only come up with stuff that feels and sounds terrible, the thing is, and it's so hard to keep in mind when I'm in the midst of like going crazy because I'm angry because like I can't do it right, or I'm afraid I can't do it right, because that's what it is. It's that I'm afraid I'm gonna screw it up, and that's somehow manifests as anger, and it's scary. It's hard to see beyond what I'm saying and feeling, and it's wow. It's a surprise, like, oh well, I gotta do something about that now. But all of those feelings that we want to call negative and all of that are just, it's a hard one to wrap your mind around. But if you are at the point where you can say, look, it's not, the world is not really our lives. Like, that's all something we're acting out. Karmas that we didn't finish in a previous life, we're here to tie up loose ends. Whatever it is, whatever karmic paths or akashic paths we're on, if you're like aware of that stuff, then you're gonna know that even though like all hell may be breaking loose in your life and making you feel like all hell, that's like the desired goal of being here. In fact, like, if you can, oh God, this is so foreign and wrong feeling, but it's almost like the worse your circumstances are, more points, like, you, I don't know, are able to tie up more than one loose end at the same time, or you have enough of an effect on other lives, that negative or positive, but I would hope positive is good, better, There shouldn't be a better. It should just be good, even if it's not positive, even if it's terrible, because good, bad, ugly, all of it is good. We just don't remember it as such because we so believe in our stories, in our legends. So, yeah, overwhelming and plenty. And so the drifter card is kind of like, I drift away from this knowledge, which, experiencing life as it comes. Because, again, getting caught up in all that anxiety and letting pressure get to us and like falling for it, falling for the game. Like, I'm right now thinking of people that like have no other where to live but outside, and it is cold right now and it's been raining all day. Like, they've cleared so many of the homeless people out of here, I don't even see them anymore. And it was like families and stuff. No more trailers, no more cars, no more people, panhandling. And I know people hate that, but my God, if there's so many of them, maybe the problem isn't them. Like, maybe the problem that's putting them there is the problem. But, boy, that's taking it, like, that's a high level, right there. That is points, being homeless right now, especially where, people hate homeless people. I don't understand it. It's not every single person can be there because they want to be, because they just want to be a druggie and an alcoholic. You can do all of those things and not have to live outside. I don't know why people don't get that. Usually it's something else that sends you there. Like, you're mentally incapable of maintaining employment and therefore housing and, responsibilities that people that don't have a mental impairment can do, even if they're on drugs or an alcoholic. It's like, I don't know, like, think past things just a little tiny bit is all I'm saying. But taking life as it comes would include that circumstance happening to you. And just think about the state of mind, drugs and alcohol aside. Think of a moment for someone that is without home, without house, outside in the weather with their loved one, spouse, partner, child, pet. And, your mind is not going to be where it is, where you can just reach over and grab your cup of coffee, and if you're cold, you can, like, turn on heat or, whatever it is. Two different mindsets. It's going to put you in two different places. The things that can happen in life that can set you off in whichever direction you end up going in are going to be unique to us in a lot of ways, and then in other ways they're going to look the same from the outside. But I think it's important to remember that if you're like I am here right now, to someone outside in the weather, sitting pretty, having no problems, like, I got everything I need. And I do. I'm fortunate that I do. And so my state of mind is going to be different. I don't know how grateful I would be feeling sitting outside, although you never know. I've mentioned this before. If you check out a YouTuber named #BonPeter, you will see this guy is like some kind of part of some kind of ministry or something, and that's not what they call it. It sounds like he's got some group of, he describes it as family and friends, that once he locates people that need help in the form of money or something else sometimes, they get it to these people. So there's YouTube shorts. They've made a bunch of them of him coming up and engaging with these people. And sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes they're just so used to being treated so badly because they have the nerve to be homeless, where people are trying to walk, and it's just like, that's got to be a harsh way to live, and you are at the moment sort of unable to do anything about it. And then here comes this guy like an angel and gives you money enough to like go inside, eat some hot food from like a restaurant, and bathe, and maybe get new clothes. Like, it just changes them so much that many of them go on from there to improve their own circumstances. And then sometimes Peter Bond comes upon them again and hits them again with some, either love or more money sometimes. And a lot of times, you know what these people will say that were so happy to get this man's help? They will say, I'm going to give it to somebody I know that needs help. I'm going to pass it on. And even the ones, he'll give them the money, and they'll be like, I'm going to share this, and it's just like, I'm getting chills right now. So and there's sports stuff that makes people insanely happy. Taylor Swift is making people insanely happy. It's there, You really don't have to search that hard. So, experiencing life as it comes, just drifting along. Well, I certainly have more anchors here in this circumstance that I'm in. I'm drifting less so than someone without all of these things, but right now I'm glad I got them, because I don't want to be outside. It's cold, it's wet, there's full-on weather. But what we can do is keep those people in mind. And I got my ways of praying, and if you have a good thought toward them, I don't know, like, that's, if you want to do more than that, it's up to you, but that ain't nothing. Is that a Jack Nicholson? I think it is. I was talking about Jack Nicholson in the last video I made. Oh well. I don't know, if you're a regular viewer, then you'll get that. Okay, so the lizard card. Instinctual, sensitive to the subtle, dreamer. The lizard is an expert in the realm of sensory perception. As if it has a sixth sense, the lizard hears what is yet to be spoken and sees what is yet to manifest. Although this is an amazing gift, it can easily wear the lizard down. Big crowds, lots of travel, or overstimulation will drain the lizard of their magical essence. This card is an indication to pull back from the bright lights and big city and return to the inner artist who's been whispering your name. When in balance, artistic, telepathic, spiritual. When out of balance, elusive, non-committal, flaky. What? Yeah, maybe it pertained to me. So, Nunya. To bring it into balance, a creative project. So, when I pulled this, I thought, obviously, lizard, desert creature. And also this, I don't know if it's in there, I don't even remember reading it, but I always think ancient when I think of this. And the other thing I thought is when we have these times that are like all turbulent and sort of like can get so big in our lives that they sort of suck up all the oxygen and make you kind of make it hard to concentrate on other stuff. And I mean, it could be good stuff too happening to you, where you're just like so much is happening that you're missing stuff. I mean, look how I explain that different kind of for like the positive thing is one way, and then the negative thing is one way, but it's basically the same thing, which is also what I was saying earlier. But this can be a lot, and like I was saying, it was messing me up for a while because it went on for a while. There's like Mercury retrograde, there's tons of retrogrades, the types of things that just sort of disrupt you. And you know, the moons and tides, and I mean, those affect things that are not even astronomical. You know. And so, like what I was talking about this, like the ability to, really adapt, you know, and just like conform to your circumstances as they're changing. And I often thought when I was in the middle of like confusion or anger or upset after for being angry and just going through the whole like rainbow of emotions, and I thought to myself at one point, because I needed to like get it together and like complete an action. Like I couldn't stop in the middle and just be all, I'm done, I'm leaving, I can't take it. Like I had like a job I had to do it. So I had to like keep taking a moment and breathing and saying to myself, you gotta find, like, from your Akash, the person that has it together to handle this. You gotta find that ice cold, like, personality, like, quick, you know, like, do like insta meditate and get that happening. So I'm not sure that precisely that is whatever happened, but definitely taking the moment and breathing when I was finally able to do it, because sometimes I would be like so crazy spray I couldn't even like stop myself to take the breath. And actually during that time, like last month, there were times where I was just like, I can't even get a good breath to do the breathing. And of course that was a little alarming, and it made me wonder about my own respiratory issues, which if you listen carefully you can hear that I obviously have them. But I act like I don't. I'm not even fooling me. Why did I start talking about that? I don't have any idea now. All I know is, this, man, that's messing me up. I hope that's not recording on here. Oh, yeah, just like finding the wherewithal to deal with like your big stresses in life. And probably it's something you have to do, you know, like an exercise. You have to build up strength and, confidence in the ability of accessing that Akashic record. But I don't know. Wow. Okay, I get a big chill. So I guess that's a good idea to suggest for everyone. And like, I don't know, again, depending on your sensitivity, you might be able to just go blink and like remember something. I have to work a little harder, especially if I'm in the middle of freaking out. Makes it kind of hard. But I guess what I'm saying is you got options. You got choices. And really, like, calm yourself down, because, again, a role we're playing, the Matrix, school, all of the whatever you want to call us being here, the framework. You know, the framework was scary, delicious, scary, but scary from Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay, thank you and good night. I don't even know if any of that made sense.